What's happening, Saints fans? We are live on Saints Now by Chat Sports. As always, I'm your host, Trace Girouard. Thank you so much for tuning in to the live program. We've already put out a video around the Saints possibly drafting Shedeur Sanders, so we're going to spend a little bit of time on our live show talking about more draft rumors, trade rumors, and everything in between. I got my boy Nick Lopez riding shotgun with me. If you haven't already, be sure to hit the thumbs up icon like today's video. Subscribe to Saints Now by Chat Sports for more videos around the black and gold. And as always, get down in the comment section, and we can't wait to have a conversation with you. Give me a hoot at in the comments if you are pumped up to be here on Saints Now by Chat Sports. Hoot at! And I see Trace Moustakis already throwing in a $5 super chat. My guy Moose is saying, nice name, bro. Hey, only elite guys are named Trace. I'm just going to put that out there, man. I'm just going to put that out there. We got Jerry G. We got Isaiah, Jaden. We have two Jadens, actually. Kamani, Jock Kessler, Jerry G. We're all tuning in. Who dat is saying who dat. We got JoJo saying Chris Olave. We also got Jaden. We got Yahir, Mr. Filmer. Good to see you. Queen Courtney, how's it going to you? I replied to your email. Polo's in the mail, girl. Let's go, Trizzy. Do you believe the Saints can go above 500 this year? I will get into that here pretty soon. What's good? How are you doing, Eric? I'm doing great. I'm doing a lot better now that I'm hanging out with you guys. We got Chip, Jerry G, Vernell, Lanky Boy, Ernest, and Jaden as well hanging out with us. Nathan, Ja, Colorado Ferguson, all getting in the comment section. Brian Lane, Mr. Filmer, one day from opening day of the MLB. Hey, we're right around the corner for some baseball. You a Seams guy, Lopez, or what?
I love me.
Who's your team?
Cincinnati Reds guy.
You're a Reds fan. Okay.
Yeah.
Louisiana obviously doesn't have an MLB team. It would be a lot cooler if they did.
We had a minor league.
It didn't go well? Really?
Yeah.
What was the minor league team's name?
We started as the Zephyrs. And then
That's awesome.
It was fire, and then Baby Cakes.
Like King Cake Babies?
Yeah, but it was like really bad. Like we were like national news for a little bit for how like bad the logo and like design was.
That's awesome.
Look it up.
That's awesome.
It's kind of gross.
I'm going to have to look it up now. I have to.
Horrible name, horrible branding, and shortly after they were out of the town. I think it was Oklahoma.
Oh my God, the New Orleans Baby Cakes. Dude, that's bad. It's literally a baby coming out of a king cake with a baseball bat.
Yeah, it was horrible.
And their name is, or their jerseys just said Cakes. That's hilarious. Well, they had division titles in 1998, 2001, and 2007.
That
So
had to be the Zephyrs.
there you go.
Like,
The Biloxi Shuckers is also a team.
Yeah, I'm aware of them.
That's-
Team in Alabama, I want to say it's like the Montgomery Biscuits.
They are so fun fact, one of my really good friends, he played for the Montgomery Biscuits. He was a pitcher. So I've been trying to tell him to send me a Biscuits Wicklander jersey, but he won't because he's a tool. He's really, really mean, doesn't support my my dreams, if you will. All right, let's get to the next question because we got some good content coming your way. What is it? I totally forgot. Oh, yeah, we're going to talk about Chris Olave. What is your asking price in a Chris Olave trade? Don't say nothing. Everyone has a price. And it can be ridiculous. It can be like 17 first-round picks. It can be, I want Patrick Mahomes. It can be whatever you want. But everyone has a price. My price, you offer me a first-round pick and then some, I'm listening. I'm not accepting, but I'm listening. You piqued my interest. Jaw says, take Dell in a first. Mr. Filmer says, nothing. I wouldn't trade him for a damn thing. $1,000 billion because I love that man from your comment. It would certainly help the Saints cap space. Mickey Loomis would still find a way to get us uncap compliant with $1,000 billion.
What do you think his first move would be to like just shit on it? I think
He would sign Jonathan Abrams to like a 2-year, $80 million contract, fully guaranteed or something.
999.
Yeah, he would sign. Yeah, he would sign. What would Mickey Loomis do with $100 million or $100 billion? Dude, he'd sign some schmuck in the UFL, make that a good story.
Be
Be
like,
like,
oh, the Cowboys got that one good kicker out of the UFL.
let's go get ours. We're gonna pay him a lot of money. We'll get our long snapper. Yeah, okay. Star says 7 draft picks. Queen Courtney says Jamar Chase in a first. Mr. Filmer says, I think Olave has potential with us, but he can never reach it. I think he can reach the potential. It just hasn't been reached yet. Kamani says, I need Patrick and Xavier Worthy in a first-round pick. Hey, Expensive asking prices. I like it, ladies and gentlemen. When you control the cards, you control the situation. And I can tell you what, if you want to control your diet and take advantage of an awesome deal we have here with today's presenting sponsor, that is Factor Meals. I highly encourage you to check out the link in the live chat, the comments, and description of this video. It is Factor Meals. Optimize your nutrition this year with Factor, and you can get 50% off your first box plus free shipping if you go to factormeals.com/SaintsChat50off and use code SaintsChat50off. Like I said, 50% off your first box plus free shipping. Factor can help you feel your best all day long with wholesome smoothies, breakfast, grab-and-go snacks, and more add-ons. I'm a big fan of the Peruvian-style chicken. I think it tastes so good, and it also makes me feel so great, even more so. Reach your goals this year with ingredients you can trust and convenience that can't be beat. With over 40 options across 8 dietary preferences on the menu each week, it's easy to pick meals tailored to your goals. Choose from preferences like Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, or Keto. Eat smart with Factor. Get started today at factormeals.com/SaintsChat50off and use code SaintsChat50off to get 50% off your first box plus free shipping. All the information is in the comments and description of this video. Shout out to Factor for sponsoring the program. We're so glad to have you back. I'm so glad to have you back in my freezer. Alrighty, so I'll ask you again, what's your asking price for a Chris Olave trade? I want to hear from you. I mean, it's pretty expensive. It's very, very expensive. Mr. Filmer says, I got a practice to go for school, but I'll be out for a bit. No worries, Mr. Filmer. Have fun at practice, my friend. Houston says, I feel like they should stack up on second-round draft picks if they decide to trade Chris Olave. Yeah, I mean, that's not a bad plan there, Houston. Vernell says, I just repurchased my season tickets, but I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to celebrate knowing that this season might be horrible. Well, Vernell, I'll tell you this. I have an entire video why I think this season actually might go a lot better than people are expecting. That's going to be our whole first segment. So hopefully I can give you a little bit of optimism and something to be excited about. Thoughts on Landon Jackson at number 40? Javier, you are speaking my freaking language. Landon Jackson, edge rusher out of Arkansas, absolute stud. He was at LSU for a little bit, transferred to Arkansas. Very, very good player, very nice frame, high motor. I am in love with the idea of drafting an Arkansas legend, and especially Landon Jackson. He fits a position in need. I think he'd be really good for the Saints long term, and he just strikes me as a guy who you have him in the locker room, and you're going to absolutely love having him around. All right, let's keep this thing rocking and rolling. We're going to move on to the next question. How many likes can we pick up in the next 2 minutes? We got a like spike. I'll tell you what, we're going to set a 2-minute timer. If we can get to 60 likes in the next 2 minutes, we'll keep this thing rocking and rolling. Timer starts now. We're at 31. We got to get to 60. I need 30 more likes. That's 50% audience participation. So if you haven't already, tickle that thumbs up icon. Like this video right now. Like spike, like spike, like spike, like spike. We just picked up 8 more likes. Can we get to 60? I need to get to 60. Here we go. We got 2 minutes to get to 60 likes. We only need 12 more. Big push right there, ladies and gentlemen. We need 12 more. 12 more likes in a minute and a half. Can we do it? 5 more likes in a minute and a half. Can it happen? This might be the best like spike we've ever had. And then we're there. 61 likes. I absolutely love to see it. Shout out to y'all for making it happen. And shout out to Lanky Boy for that super chat. We'll pop that up here in just a moment. But hey, if we get to 70 likes, it's pretty good stuff right here. I'll tell you what. We get to 70 likes, I'll take a sip of my water. I'm actually going to do that anyway because I'm pretty thirsty. All righty. Sean Wallace says he would trade Chris Olave because there's injury concerns. I think that's fair. I think that's totally fair. We're going to talk about that in great detail here. We're at 69 likes. Nobody touch it. Nice. Nobody's allowed to like it. If somebody unlikes it, somebody help me out. Well, somebody's at 70. If we get to 70, unlike it. Like we're staying at 60. We got to 70. What the heck? Guys, come on. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? What are we doing here? We were just at 69 and now we're at 70. Somebody unlike it. What are we doing? We're done. Like, guys, we might just end the live show. Well, come on now. I mean, Lopez over here just in absolute shambles right now. He's distraught is what he's telling me. What are your thoughts on getting Ashton Jeanty? I like the idea of drafting Ashton Jeanty. If he falls to the Saints, I think that's definitely a player to consider. In my opinion, the top pick needs to be one of 3 guys. In no particular order, Ted McMillan, Tyler Warren, Ashton Jeanty. I would love one of those 3 picks. I also love the idea of a Will Johnson or getting a nice edge rusher early on. But, when you're at number 9 overall, I would rather take the best player at that respective position than like the number 2 or number 3 candidate. You know what I'm saying? So that's just my personal opinion. Lanky boy, $10 super chat. I would not trade Chris Olave. This is my boy Brandon, by the way. I would instead address what picks we have and get T-Mac and Cam Scatterboo. By the way, I sent another mock draft. Could you put it up on the screen? Let me see here. Let me. Are we back in the mock draft biz? Are we back? Did you send it to my IG or my Twitter? I don't see it on Instagram. Let me see. Sent it via carrier pigeon. That's hilarious. I'm trying to find it. I don't see it, Lanky. I don't see it, brother. Instagram. Okay, let me look. Dun 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 dun. Okay, maybe it's on my personal. I'm on my Saints one. Let me check. Ah, here we go. Also, I said it's Brandon. I lied. It's Stanton. I can't read. Stanton, I'm sorry, brother. I'm also not trying to dox you, so it's a good thing I said the wrong name. Alrighty. Shut up. Shut up, Lopez. Okay, so here's the mock draft. I'll show you guys the picture, and then we'll go down the line. It's going to be kind of tough. We don't have enough time to just kind of throw them up here for right now, but we'll go down the line. So, number 9 overall, you took Tet McMillan. Love it. Number 40 overall in round 2, you took Demetrius Knight, the linebacker out of South Carolina. So, actually, I want to have a comment. Do you know much about him? Demetrius Knight? I haven't not done nearly enough.
Just started coming on.
Yeah, I haven't done nearly enough, like, draft prep around him. He's a name that's been very popular in round 2 for the Saints. And he's been
just shooting up the board.
Yeah, so I don't know a ton about him. From what I do understand, he's a pretty good football player. I just don't know enough about him to form an opinion.
Carolina defense.
They were good, dude. They were good. That's true. They were very good. I don't hate it.
I'll take a chance.
All right, it's 71, Josiah Stewart, the edge rusher out of Michigan. 93 overall, Savion Williams, the TCU wide receiver. 112, Will Howard. I don't love the Will Howard pick there. I'm not picking a quarterback until after the first 4 rounds. That's just a personal opinion. Brashard Smith, running back out of SMU. I like that one. Jonah Munheim, the center out of USC. See, I don't know if we need a center. We have Eric McCoy. And you signed Will Clapp. I don't know if you need a center. I mean, I guess Will Clapp's just like a 1-year deal, so like maybe for a backup long term, that makes sense. But
Eric McCoy, is coming off.
Yeah, if he goes down, you need a backup center that's good. So, I don't love it, I don't hate it, but still a good pick nonetheless. You did end up trading Dallin Holker to the Chargers for a 6th round pick and a 2027 or 2026 7th round pick. With that selection, you took Jonah Monheim. Okay. At 184, tight end out of Ole Miss, Caden Prescorn?
Oh, yeah. I've seen his girlfriend on TikTok.
You've seen his girlfriend on TikTok?
Not like that. They have like a kid, and he always runs around.
Oh, okay. Oh, wait. Is this the guy whose kid was like the Ole Miss team baby?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, yeah, I saw him all on Instagram and stuff. They were posting him like crazy. Yeah, that's a great storyline. Bring him in. Yeah, that's a great storyline for the 6th round. 7th round, you went with Jaquinden Jackson, running back out of Arkansas. Great selection there, Woo Pig. And then you traded Jake Haener to the Patriots. In return, you got a 7th round pick, 238. That's what you took Jaquinden Jackson with. Jordan Hancock at number 248 overall, safety at Ohio State. PFF graded A-. I'd say the same thing. Bad A-. That's pretty good mock draft there, Lanky. Appreciate you, brother. Trace, what's going on, Moustakis? I appreciate you. You have a good name too, my friend. That is the Trace Moustakis. I'm curious as to why Trace Moustakis sent it in Super Chat. Is he scheming something?
I have no idea because he's definitely still here.
Dude, I know. I was like, I literally just saw him at the desk a minute ago, so I guess he's just partying. I mean, I shout out to Moustakis, man, but hey, you didn't have to do all that, brother. Could have just given me a crisp high five at the desk, and that would have sufficed. But yeah, that's also true. That being said, nice name, bro. This guy has a good name too. It's a good name. I know you don't have our name, but Nick.
Nick rhymes with a lot of things.
Like what? I'm just messing with you, brother. All righty.
Like, I don't know if we can say it here.
No, you can't. We're not. Not yet. Not in the first few minutes. We have to wait until after the first segment. That's the rules.
We can't.
No debauchery until at least the first 30 minutes, and after that, we
Okay, we got what,
break it off. Yeah, exactly. Alrighty, we have 14 minutes to kill, so we're gonna ask you to get in your mailbag questions. Use hashtag Saints. Better yet, send in a super chat like my guy Mustakis or Lanky Boy. If you have a super chat, you have a question, you have a hot take that you want to get in front of thousands and thousands and thousands of Saints fans, we will give you that opportunity. Just use hashtag Saints. If you don't use hashtag Saints, the software just will not recognize it, so that's how you get on. If you want to skip the line, you want us to spend a little extra time on your question, use the super chat function. $2 at the minimum is what you have to send to have a message also in the super chat, so just wanted to give you guys that information as well. I really appreciate anybody who does send in a super chat, but more importantly, we got to get hashtag Saints with a bunch of questions loaded up for us. I'm sorry?
They started before you even mentioned.
Yeah, I know. Some of y'all already know what the hell's going on. Isaiah, Jaden, y'all know what's happening here. So we're going to get Isaiah and Jaden on the show and we get our mailbag going on. All righty, Lopez, whenever you're ready, let's get this content going. Let's get this thing rocking it and rolling. Saints, or Trace, if Shedeur Sanders falls to the Saints at 9 overall, are you picking him or are you passing him? That's a good question. We're going to answer that in the mailbag. I'll answer that later on, Jaden. Hang out with us, brother. Jerry G says, enjoyed you and TJ Jones. Oh, yeah, on State of the Saints last Wednesday. Yeah, so if you haven't, by the way, TJ Jones, he does an excellent job covering the New Orleans Saints. He is an awesome man, an awesome guy. Cannot recommend enough his content. I got to join his show. We got to chop it up about the Saints. It was super duper fun. I had a great time. We're going to get him on the show at some point here, and then it was so much fun. We're going to just keep running him back and forth. That was the right picture. Hold on. Go back to it. Yeah, you're good. So pop it back up. Go to the editor. Is it like crop and fit to box? It's just not loading now?
Yeah, put the link back in. It's just not loading.
Hold on, read only it. Turn the read only off. Yeah, turn that off real quick. So, and now it's just still not loading. Lovely. Awesome. Oh, I'm back. It's okay. We're trying to figure this stuff out. Our graphics are giving us some trouble here. I can re-put it in if you want me to.
Either that or I can try removing it.
No, don't do that. I'll grab it because I have the link right here. Yeah, I got it right here. You guys get to see how the sausage and the gravy is made. We don't take breaks. We don't take commercial breaks. We just chop it up. Okay, here we go. So go to the editor here. Click again. That so settings gear.
Oh, wait, it was that.
You're good. So click. Wait, hold on. Click the X real quick. Which one is it in? Is it in? Click the X. It's in square. Okay. So click the editor. Click this right there. Click again. One more. Okay. Now press the settings gear. Now do that button right there. There we go. And then hit resize and go to crop. And then click that one. Go back to here. Resize. That's perfect. Cool. The sausage was made. Isn't that fun? The sausage has been packaged. It's been shipped, and now it is on the way to your kitchen, so you can have a nice breakfast.
All the sausage.
All righty, we're gonna dive into it. We're gonna start off just to set the scene here. I think the Saints pulled off highway robbery. I genuinely believe the Saints are going to have a much better season than a lot of people are giving them credit for. So for the next 10, 15-ish minutes, we're going to talk about why I think that, and we're also going to tell you guys another time about factors. So Lopez, whenever you're ready, my friend, we can rock and roll. Yeah, actually, let me take a quick sip of water, as I always do. Always waiting on Trizzy, God. This guy, dude, just causing problems. All righty. Whenever you're ready, boss. What's going on, Saints fans? I believe Mickey Loomis and the black and gold have pulled off highway robbery. And I'm going to explain my thoughts throughout the course of this video because personally, I think the Saints have made some really, really good moves so far, and I believe that the moves that they made have been very underrated. And I can understand why a lot of y'all believe this season is going to be a lot of doom and gloom. But to be totally honest, I have a few reasons why I think the Saints season actually might go a lot better than we all anticipate. So let's just kind of recap what we're going to talk about here. The offseason so far, it's consisted of a new coaching staff. The Saints have made a trade, and on top of that, they've been active in free agency. Obviously, the draft has yet to happen, and things can still go down for the New Orleans Saints. But for today's video, we're going to dive into these three topics and why I think the Saints pulled off highway robbery. But really quick, today's show would not be made possible if it weren't for our awesome friends over at Factor Meals. I absolutely love Factor, and I can tell you right now that truffle butter filet mignon, it is chef's kiss. So dang good. Ready to optimize your nutrition this year? Factor has chef-made gourmet meals that make eating well so easy. They're dietitian approved and they're ready to eat in just a couple of minutes so you can fuel right and feel great no matter what life throws at you. Get started today at factormeals.com/SaintsChat50 off and use code SaintsChat50 off to get 50% off your first box plus free shipping. Factor arrives fresh and fully prepared, perfect for any active, busy lifestyle. And that's why I love Factor, because rather than having to drive through a McDonald's or go get some sort of fast food that I know isn't healthy, I'm able to eat a nutritious and delicious meal in just a few minutes. Factor can help you feel your best all day long with wholesome smoothies, breakfasts, grab-and-go snacks, and even more add-ons. So eat smart with Factor. Get started today at factormeals.com/SaintsChat50 off and use that code SaintsChat50 off to get 50% off your first box plus free shipping. All that information is in the comments and description of this video. Shout out to Factor. Thank you guys for sponsoring, and thank you for keeping my belly full. So let's first start off with the new coaching staff, because obviously this is an entirely different crew than what we first saw when the Saints ended the season last year. And I can tell you right now, I'm a big fan of what the Saints have done in terms of the coaching roster. Kellen Moore, Doug Nussmeier, Brandon Staley, and Phil Galliano are your main coaches. Now, obviously, Galliano, he is a promotion. He was under Darren Rizzi, and he stuck around, and I think that that is an excellent decision. He has definitely earned that spot. And TJ Paganetti, he came over and joined the New Orleans Saints with Kellen Moore. Keith Williams, one of the top, if not the top wide receiver coach across the National Football League and arguably in all of football. And that's not an opinion. That is straight from multiple NFL players, multiple coaches, and multiple people around the league. Brendan Nugent, he's an offensive line coach. Jari Evans, he is sticking around. He's the assistant offensive line coach. I think that's an excellent decision to keep him around. And Scott Tolzien and Bo Davis round out some more hires. I think the Scott Tolzien hire is really underrated, and that Bo Davis hire could really benefit the entire defensive line. And in my personal opinion, I believe the coaching staff alone should lead to improvement for this New Orleans Saints team. Last year's coaching staff, it was terrible. I mean, before we even got to week 10, the coaching staff was already put into shreds because the head coach got fired. And the New Orleans Saints are not a team that operates by firing head coaches in the middle of the season. So when you have a new regime with a Super Bowl winning coach, with guys who are young, guys who are hungry, I think it's a really good situation because a lot of these coaches also have a lot to prove. It's so much better than the previous regime that I firmly believe, just based on the coaching staff alone, we should see more wins than we did last year. So I want to get down in the comment section. I want to hear from you, Who Dat Nation. What's your Saints record prediction? I don't know what mine is, to be totally honest. So I'm going to put you on the spot. I know it's unfair for me to ask, but get down in the comment section. If you know ball, I want to hear from you. This will be the pinned comment. So if YouTube throws you an ad break, take advantage, scroll down, share your thoughts, and by the time you're done, the video will be playing once again. So let's now take a look at the trade side of things. Now, when it comes to the trades, the New Orleans Saints have not traded anybody away, but they did bring in defensive tackle Devon Godshaw. And I think that that is an excellent move that is extremely underrated. And I also will say this, I think that this team is really needing a run stopper, and Devon Godshaw is exactly that. You actually got him for a 7th-round pick next year, so you don't even lose any draft capital this year. And on top of that, not only do you get one of the best run stoppers in the league, you also get a guy who fits a massive position of need, and it's a homecoming for Devon Godshaw, which is a pretty cool storyline. He's excited to be in New Orleans. He's talked about he's not chasing stats, he's not chasing stuff. He just wants to help this team win, and I think that is an excellent mindset. Worth noting, in 2024, he was 9th in run stops according to Pro Football Focus with 35 stops. In case you don't know what that is, a run stop is when a defender makes a tackle that signifies the defense won the snap. So on first down, if the offense gets 45% of the way to a first down or less, that's a stop. Second down, it's 60% or less. That's a stop. Third or fourth down, it's whether or not the offense gets a touchdown or a first down. That is also a considered stop. So Devon Godshaw, number 9 across the league in run stops, a really, really talented run stopper. And to New Orleans Saints, that is exactly what they were missing. They were terrible against the run last year. And to be totally honest, I'm just going to say this. I know that there was a lot of chatter about trade away Chris Olave, trade Taysom Hill, Alvin Kamara, Tyrann Mathieu, Cam Jordan. I know that those were all topics of discussion, but I personally love the fact that the Saints didn't trade anyone away. I know that it's upsetting to some people. I know that financially, maybe you wanted to go a different route, but I think that the Saints need to establish a culture, and having some of these players around does that. So when you have players like Tyrann Mathieu, and you have players like Cam Jordan who mean a lot to this city and mean a lot to this fan base and this franchise, it only helps establish a culture for a team that, quite frankly, does not have an identity. And that's the biggest thing Kellen Moore needs to do this year in year 1 is start establishing a culture and an identity. I love that the team did not move off of any of their veterans. I love that they kept around a lot of their key players. And I think that the Saints weren't really going to get the haul you wanted in terms of trade compensation that you were desiring. So, I'm okay with keeping these guys around for another season to help Kellen Moore establish the culture moving forward. Now, I want to ask you this. Who's a player that you're willing to trade away? I'm genuinely curious here because I firmly believe the Saints should not trade away Chris Olave. They should not get rid of Taysom Hill. Alvin Kamara is untouchable in my opinion, but maybe you disagree with me. Maybe you think it's Derek Carr. I want to hear from you down below. Alrighty, to round things out, let's talk free agency. And, I just want to say with the free agency spending here, it feels like they were actually being smart spenders. Like, I don't think the Saints have done a bad job in free agency. Although they haven't had a ton of big names signed, they've added talent to the roster without having to break the bank entirely, and they actually still have about $28 to $30-ish million of cap space to still spend. So they could let that roll over next year or use it this year. And, a lot of notable moves have happened so far. Chase Young, Juwan Johnson, those two guys were brought back. Tyrann Mathieu and Cameron Jordan, they returned on reworked deals as well. Justin Reed, Isaac Yiadom, and Brandon Cooks, those were some external additions. I love bringing back Isaac Yiadom. It's a cheap contract with very, very low risk, high reward possibilities. Justin Reed, an excellent signing. A lot of people and a lot of ESPN and NFL experts have been saying this is a terrible move. Like, he's a good player, but why are you spending? Well, because the Saints are operating to win right now, and the Saints are in the worst division of football, and Justin Reed gives you a chance to help win that division and get back to the postseason. Brandon Cooks, obviously, he was brought back to the New Orleans Saints. The Saints drafted him a handful of years ago, and he is now back in the black and gold, rocking number 10 again, by the way. But in case you didn't know this, a lot of people were really upset with the Juwan Johnson and Chase Young contracts, but I'm actually here to tell you this was cap chess while other teams are playing cap checkers. The Saints saved money by re-signing and bringing back Juwan Johnson and Chase Young individually as well as together. So when you were looking at the contracts going into the season, they had some void years on their contract. The Saints would have had to pay that out, but they didn't have to actually pay them as much by bringing them back under contract. So, that's something worth noting. In case you didn't know that, you don't agree with it, well, I'm here to tell you actually saved money by bringing them back on a contract. And, also, just big-time shout-out. We got to address some Saints legends here. We have to address the fact that these guys are absolute, not just city, not just state, not just team legends. They are the definition of legends. Cameron Jordan and Tyrann Mathieu, two very highly touted players, two guys that have had illustrious NFL careers, that have had a lot of great moments. But to be totally honest, they're on the back end of their career. They decided to come back on reworked contracts that helped the Saints a lot in clearing up cap space. So, I mean, we've talked about some of the moves that they made. Let's just look at some of the cap hits for these players. So Cameron Jordan, it's a $9.76 million cap hit. Tyrann Mathieu, it was over $20 million, by the way. Tyrann Mathieu drops his down to just over $6 million. Obviously, by the way, the cap hits aren't the total money they are owed. They can obviously make more money through incentives and through playing time and through production and stuff like that. But this is just the base cap hits, or not the base salary, but the cap hits for these guys, the base salary plus the roster bonus. Davon Godchaux, less than $2 million this year. Juwan Johnson, $5 million. Jace Young, less than $7 million. Justin Reed is making less than $4 million this year, ladies and gentlemen. Isaac Yiadom is making less than $2 million. And Brandon Cooks, he signed a 2-year, $13 million contract. It was $6.5 million annually. He's only making $3.15 this year. So, I just keep going back to this. Remember when the Saints were way the hell over the cap? They were $90 million over the cap. And everybody said the only way to cap compliance is trading everything away, blowing everything up, getting rid of all the contracts. Really? Should we just run it back this entire video? Do you want to have a conversation about all of the free agency moves that we've talked about recently? The Saints have money to spend still. They can actively pursue free agents. They can be big spenders on free agents. They also can afford to make a trade. They can afford to make some sort of big splashy move still. So I don't want to hear that the New Orleans Saints are in this cap hell, this cap nonsense, when every single year they find a way to dig themselves out of it. And I'll also sit here and tell you this. This is my final take on this, and I'm not going to talk about it again for a little bit. Winning fixes everything. The Saints go back to winning. You're not going to have anything to say about the salary cap. I'm not going to have anything to say about the salary cap. All of these NFL analysts who've been talking mad shit about the Saints and how they spend their money, they are all going to shut their damn mouths, and they're all going to tuck their tail between their legs and say, yeah, the Saints were going to be great this whole time. Nope, keep that energy, stay on that side of the coin here. The Saints operate just fine. The only problem is that they're not winning football games, and that is a big problem. But if we can get back to winning, salary cap is not an issue. So I want you to grade Saints free agency for me. I got a couple final thoughts that we'll get to just to kind of round things out, but get down in the comments, A, B, or C, D, or F. I'm going to go with the B. I don't think it's not an A, but it's definitely not a C. I got to go with a B here. So, one thing that you should expect from the New Orleans Saints this year is you should expect them to play with much more tempo. Expect a high-powered, high-paced offense with a lot of physicality. And this team's also going to be smarter. They're going to cater to the strengths of the players on the roster. They're going to cater to the play styles of these guys on the roster. And Kellen Moore, that is the big thing that's been a big selling point for him, is that he knows how to adapt to the skill sets on the roster. So if you need a reason to be a little bit more optimistic, expect some good things, because I think that we should be seeing some good things from the Saints. And just final thoughts to round it out. The Saints have made some good moves. I disagree with everyone who says this offseason has been terrible. There's still a lot of time to make some mistakes. Don't get it twisted. The draft is a big opportunity for the Saints to either knock it out of the park or completely revert and fall back into a hole. I love what they've done so far, though. I think the coaching staff is much better. I think the free agency period has been very underrated. They made a great trade in bringing in Davon Godchaux. And sometimes the best moves that you make are the ones you don't, whether it's a trade or a free agency move. So, I think that all things considered, what they had to work with, this was a really good offseason so far, and I'm excited for this year. Now, Saints fans, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. A little bit longer content, not really that much longer, but just a few minutes longer. So I hope you guys liked what we discussed. If you disagree, flame me in the comments. If you agree, let me know what. I'm Trace Girouard. My name is Trizzy Trace. Thank you guys so much for watching. Y'all stay golden, and we'll see you next time. All righty. Grade the Saints free agency for me. I'm seeing B, 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 B. I see a lot of Bs. A lot of Bs.
It's something to get excited about. It's not just tucking tail between the legs.
Yeah, it's not like we didn't go sign Jonathan Abrams and random, we made a few random name signings, but you have to fill out a roster. That's the other part, is you have to fill out the freaking roster. You can't show up with 60 guys to training camp.
With 20 guys.
Yeah, you got to have a roster.
Guys that you know the name of.
Yeah,
That's not how this works.
exactly. So interesting development here. The Saints private jet is landing in Athens, Georgia. Kellen Moore previously visited Georgia's pro days. So they could be potentially meeting with some UGA prospects. Malachi Starks, Michael Williams, who knows? Jalen Walker, also an option. Who knows? I will say this, if we draft any Georgia football players, revoke their license immediately. New Orleans is not a city that's easy to drive around, and Georgia...
Draft Kyron Lacey, they can carpool. 35 minutes. 35 minutes.
Did y'all hear Lopez? Are you mic'd up or are you muted?
I am mic'd up and unmuted.
You are unmuted? Okay, I'm glad they heard that. There was a lot of people there watching Kyron Lacey today at the LSU Pro Day, for what it's worth.
I guarantee the Saints were there.
For what? Mickey Loomis was there. I saw a picture of Mickey Loomis there, so... Lopez is not going to give up this Kyron Lacey to New Orleans.
They can carpool to work. It would be gas efficient.
It's good for the environment, saves money.
If someone does end up hurt, it would have been...
They have a ride.
Well, it would have been two of them. Like if Kyron Lacey and a Georgia player both had to drive to work separately.
Oh.
We're putting more people in danger.
Yeah, rather than just putting them all in one car.
Exactly.
It's like containing the crazy.
Exactly.
No, that makes sense. That makes sense. Lopez always bringing the heat. What up, U.S. champ? Good to see you, brother. Thank you for tuning in, my friend. We're going to start the next content here in just a second. If you haven't already, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Let me see here. Yeah, we're 42,847. We are on the road to 50K. We're getting there slowly but surely. We will get there one day. I'm also pumped because my Saints video from this morning. My Saints video. What other fucking video would it be? My video from this morning. It's picking up mad steam. Picking up mad steam. Gotta love it. Saints. No, I actually didn't. Saints and Kellen Moore get awesome news after the Giants sign Russell Wilson.
Oh, you threw Russell Wilson. You just got all the sad Giants fans to click in.
Hey, but I put Kellen Moore and Shador on the thumbnail. It'd be a lot cooler if he was on the black and gold. Just saying. If he stayed in the black and gold, I should say. This is also a true story, and this is just like my Kyler Murray interception story. You're just gonna have to believe it. There's no way I can prove it. Actually, I might have a picture of him there. But Shador, I was at my buddy's wedding in Mexico. December of this past year was 23. December of 2023, I was in Mexico at the Viceroy for my best friend's wedding, and we're at the bar. After we took some pictures, waiting for the reception to start, and I look over to my left, and I see Shador and some honey just hanging out, and I'm like, that's Shador Sanders. And me and my boy, Andrew Ramstead, we were like, we got to go dap him up. So we did. I dapped up Shador, said, you're going to look good in a Saints uniform, and I walked off.
I was kind of thinking something similar to this the other day because I got a friend back at LSU
Mm-hmm.
who is dating someone that worked in LSU football now with the Buccaneers.
Yeah.
But he was really close to Jaden Daniels. So
That's
I'm
sick.
Like, y'all need to make it work.
Yeah, you got to figure it out.
You've already told me I'm allowed at the wedding.
Yeah, you got. Now this is on you guys. This is on y'all. This is on y'all. Yeah, exactly. Did you just make? I don't know. Did you mute your mic for the last segment? By the way, cool. Just make sure. Just double checking. I don't know why I'm trying to over here babysit you, dude. You're too good. You're too good at this. Everyone type F Trizzy in the chat. Type Lopez Rocks F Trizzy.
Only time need babysitting. After that, I got it.
Loco Lopez. Then we can do some babysitting.
Yeah. Then it's like, okay, we might need to.
When are we gonna hit some locos? That's gotta happen at one of these days. Should we? Honest hot take. You know, it'd be really funny is if we were just like, all right, we're just gonna get hammered at the apartment and we're just gonna live stream it. I'm just gonna pull up my laptop, live stream it. We're just gonna pound for locos. Be sick. Would y'all be interested in a Saints happy hour over the weekend? Like a weekend happy hour, just kind of have some fun. Would y'all be interested in that? Not this weekend or next weekend, just because March Madness and stuff, and I'm traveling, but soon. I can't do it this weekend. Maybe I probably can't do it this weekend. Next weekend, I know I can't because I'm going out of town, but after that, I think it'd be pretty cool. I think that'd be fun. Seeing a lot of people say yes, they want us to do a Saints Now happy hour. Okay.
Would we have to drink like the gold Four Locos, like for the Saints? Like I'd rather not. But if we have to, I would.
I'll take it on the chin, and I'll drink the giggity. I'll drink the Four Loko Gold, and you can have whatever one you want.
I'll get one. I'll get like the same number.
Just can't get a red one though, because the Falcons can't do that.
Go-to's been apple. That one's good.
The apple one.
There was a Warhead one that we tried.
There was a Warhead
That
one. I
one's
remember
not
that.
bad.
I remember that.
It
I remember
was
that.
pretty good.
So here's Kellen Moore's week so far. On Sunday, March 23rd, he arrived in Miami to see the Miami Pro Day. Monday, March 24th, visited Miami, traveled to Austin. Tuesday, March 25th, visited Texas Pro Day, traveled to Columbus. Wednesday, March 26th, visited Ohio State Pro Day, traveled to Athens, Georgia. So he's been busy. Alrighty. We're going to start off this next segment with some trade rumors. Weigh-in. The weigh-in first. It's a cold open. You're good. You're Gucci. Yeah, you're good. You're good. So what we'll do is just do the weigh-in. I'll do you a hard pause, and you can just go to the. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. If you do that, then we don't have to splice. Then you don't have to like add it in. Yeah, we can run that. Coolio. Alrighty. Isaiah says the Sour Patch Kid Four Locos. Yeah. Night Mike says, "Damn, why y'all want to trade Olave?" You're gonna love the second graphic of this show when I say explicitly, I don't want to draft or trade Chris Olave. Saints are hosting dinner tonight with several players, including Michael Williams, Arian Smith, and more. Yes. Yes. There you go. So that's that. That's why you hang out in our live shows, because we tell you news that happens as it happens. Okay, I think we're good. I think we are ready to roll. Alrighty, Saints fans, if you guys are ready to rock, ready to roll, ready to have a grand old time, just give me a hoot at in the comment section and give me a like on this video. Lopez, I'll take a sip. And now we're ready to roll. Got to keep the pipes lathered, you know. Shut up, Lopez. Shut up. Alrighty, let's get into it. Javier, Isaiah, Michael, Jerry G, Jay, Night Mike, all rocking and rolling with us still. We're going to dive into some more content. Before we dive into reset. Before we dive into today's video, I need your help. The host of Falcons Today, Matthew Peterson, said that Saints Now was incapable of getting 2,000 likes on this video. He said it is literally impossible. So let's prove that fraud wrong. Let's get to 2,000 likes on this video so we can shut up Falcons Today and we can prove who runs the NFC South. It's time to ruffle some feathers here in Saints Now by Chat Sports. As always, I am your host, Trace Girouard. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's program, no matter where you are or how you're watching. We always appreciate the Houdat Nation for taking some time out of the day to hang out with us. Now, Chris Olave, the Saints wide receiver one, he has been linked to some trade rumors. He has been linked to some teams. And when I say he's been linked, it hasn't been a report from a Jeremy Fowler or an Underhill or anything like that. It's more so teams are interested in trading for Chris Olave because fans want him, because other podcasts want him, and because other blogs out there are saying the Saints should look to trade him. Now, before we get this thing started, I need to make this explicitly clear because I already know some of y'all are in the comments typing it out. Delete it now. I don't want to trade Chris Olave. Let me say it one more time, explicitly clear. I, Trace Girouard, do not want to trade number 12, Chris Olave. I want to keep him on the roster because he is a really good football player. But, you know, there is a conversation to be had about why. I can give you a few reasons. Now, he is entering the final year under contract, and if New Orleans Saints are looking to bring him back and pay him some good money, that's the thing that they're going to have to plan for financially. And right now, they actually are already in the red in terms of the cap space for 2026. Just $6 million over the cap. They'll be fine. They'll be cap compliant. If they want to get or keep Chris Olave around, I will say this. I think they'll find a way. But there is also this. There's serious injury concerns, and maybe it's not like serious and, oh my God, like he could really get re-hurt and stuff. But, you know, it is something to say when you have multiple head injuries. It's just a lot. And, you know, if you do want to trade Chris Olave, I'm just going to go ahead and say it. My asking price is at least a first-round pick. It's a lot. It's expensive. But at the end of the day, I'm the one with Chris Olave. If you're the one who wants Chris Olave, then I'm going to make you pay for him. We had to trade and get rid of some extra capital to get him and take him in the first round. So I'm going to ask for some of that back. I want a first-round pick. And I can be a greedy asshole because Chris Olave is my team's player. So I deserve to be greedy. Now, in terms of destinations of where he could possibly go, here's a handful of teams that I've been seeing linked to him. I don't really believe the Bills, but they're a team that's always looking for wide receiver help. The Chiefs, they obviously need some help out there too. Tyler Jones, the host of the Chiefs Report here at Chat Sports, he's really big on the idea of the Chiefs trying to trade for Chris Olave. The Jets make a lot of sense because obviously Garrett Wilson is out there and Justin Fields was brought in this offseason. So there is that, you know, ties and that familiarity from their time at Ohio State. The Chargers, I don't think it makes a ton of sense. I don't think they would do it. But, you know, maybe Harbaugh wants an Ohio State guy, wants to bring him in. And, you know, the Texans as well are a team that I've seen some trade rumors on. My guy, Jeremy Chuggs, we went at it on Twitter about this. And if you guys need to see it, I highly encourage you to check it out. I'm just not in the camp of trading Chris Olave for anything less than a first-round pick. And I know that this is a conversation about not trading Chris Olave, but everyone has an asking price. Everyone has a price. What's yours? Is it 5 first-round picks? Is it, you better give me a Patrick Mahomes? What is it? Let me know down in the comment section what your asking price is because I know you got one. If it's crazy, if it's ridiculous, that's fine. I want to hear what your asking price is. I also want to hear whether or not you need to get better food at your home for quick meals that are chef prepared. And if you do, my guys over at Factor can help you out. If you're ready to optimize your nutrition, Factor is the place to do it. They have chef-made gourmet meals that make eating well very, very easy. They're dietitian approved and ready to heat and eat in 2 minutes, so you can fuel right and feel great no matter what life throws at you. Get started at factormeals.com/SaintsChat50off and use code SaintsChat50off to get 50% off your first box plus free shipping. Lose up to 8 pounds in 8 weeks with Factor Keto meals based on a randomized controlled clinical trial with Factor Keto. Results will vary depending on diet and exercise, but with 40 options across 8 dietary preferences on the menu each week, it's easy to pick meals tailored to your goals. So you can choose preferences like the former mentioned Factor Keto, or you can check out Calorie Smart and Protein Plus. I absolutely love Factor because for me, I'm a guy who is always on the move, who always has things going on, and I just am trying to be a little bit healthier. Fast food is not the move. I can tell you what is, though. Factor meals. This Louisiana shrimp is so dang good. You're going to see a picture of it on your screen right now. I can tell you it is Louisiana approved. It tastes great, and you will love it, too. You can get started with Factor meals by clicking the link in the comment section or description of this video. Factormeals.com/SaintsChat50off and use code SaintsChat50off to get 50% off your first box plus free shipping. Like I said, all the information is in the comments and description of this video. So with Chris Olave, I want to continue this conversation because I think that the New Orleans Saints need to be very conscious about what they're going to do with the trade. If Lopez, if you just want to go Factor L3 here, I'll send a message into Slack. We're live right now and guys are trying to mess with our show, but we're going to cut this part out. It's all good. I'll just tell you this right now. With Chris Olave, he is a player that I'm a very big fan of, and he's a guy that I don't want to lose anytime soon. He's a player I'm willing to build around. He's a player that I'm willing to keep for the long term, and he's a player that I am a big, big fan of. Hard pausing. You're good. Can we just go, did all the graphics get moved? L3s? Okay. Wow, that's awesome. We just got cucked mid-segment. That's sick. Buttons on Lopez's desk. Sorry, guys. We're having some technical difficulties. Can you get the Bears L3 off? Just put like the factor L3 or something. Alrighty. Yeah, I know. Mere comment. F the Bears. They fucked us. They bent us over and they fucked us. They didn't even buy us dinner or flowers. At least wine and dine me before I get bent over. Okay, can you check the L3s here? See if they're moved back. We're still Bears? Awesome. Dude, no, I didn't move them. I can move them back, I guess. Yeah, just make sure all the other ones didn't get screwed here. Awesome. Awesome. Our whole show got moved over. Lovely. Alrighty, so we're going to take a quick second, and we're going to reset. God bless it, man. Just can't get through a fucking segment. Moved everything except for trade. And now we're going to have to recheck all the graphics. God fucking damn, man. That's really frustrating. All right. We'll reset whenever the graphics are back. Colin just said he'll fix. And we'll just keep it rolling. We'll just keep it moving. Sorry, guys. We had some technical difficulties on our side of things. The Chat Sports squad was so eager to take our studio that they forgot we were filming in here. But it's all good because we still love the guys over at Bears Now and stuff. However, we gotta fix a few things. All right, I'm going to have him DM you for fixing stuff. Okay, so in the meantime, if you guys are enjoying the content, give me a hoot at, and we'll just give you some shout-outs. Also, we'll just kind of continue this conversation off script about Chris Olave. Like, the thing about Chris Olave is he is a player that I understand some teams might want, and I think it's a good thing, and I think it's a testament to the type of player he is. Obviously, he has missed a lot of time due to concussions, and he's had 5 concussions since 2020? I mean, that's not good. Like, at a certain point, you have value of life. At a certain point, you got to take care of yourself. So, I'm hoping between Brandon Cooks and Chris Olave, they can get a bunch of what's it called? Guardian caps. That's the word. You can get a bunch of Guardian caps, and they can actually stay on the field all year. I mean, he's a proven wide receiver. Like, he gets 1,000 yards every single time he plays more than 8 games. Play double-digit games, you get 1,000 yards. Crazy concept, I know. Edson says, typical Bears doing some goofy things. Yeah, I know. Typical Bears in total Bears fashion. Kyron, good to see you, brother. Thank you for tuning in. Waffle D, hope you're having a great day. Isaiah, hoot at to you as well, my friend. Queen Courtney, that's hilarious. That's really funny. She said the Bears are set on the thought of that Caleb Williams is a legit quarterback. Yeah, anybody who paints his nails ain't a legit quarterback. Cody says, F the Bears. Yep, F Chicago. Last time we played them, we beat the brakes off them, and they couldn't handle it. So now they're trying to take our studios. What do you think about the Dak Browns trade talks? Man, I don't think it's real. I don't think it's actually going to happen. Dak Prescott has a no-trade clause. So unless he waives it, that won't happen. Also, why in the hell would you waive it to go to the Browns? That's not happening. I think that Kirk Cousins is a Brown. I think Kirk Cousins is a Brown. That's my thoughts here. Are we rolling? Are we back in business? Alrighty. So let's just go back to a sub L3, I'll give you a hard pause, and we'll just keep this rocking and rolling. Yep, we just finished factors, so it kind of worked out. So I'll just give you a hard pause, and whenever we make the splice, I'll come and do it with you just to make sure we're chilling. Mere Comic, another mailbag question in. Houston Blake says, hear me out 4 second. Shh. Go away, Siri. Houston, just hear me out. 4 second-round draft picks, and you can turn that into first-round 6. That you got now altogether into at least 2 or 3 first-round draft picks for the following year. Houston, I'm not following. I'm not following totally. Centaur, did we get your super chat? Yes, we did. We're going to pop it up here in a moment. We'll get to it after the segment. We got to finish off here, and then we'll pop it up here in just a few minutes, Centaur. Had some technical difficulties. That's why we reset, but now we're going to reset again, and we'll get to that super chat here in like 5-6-ish minutes. But Lopez, I'm going to reset here, and then we'll just go to the 3-stat comp afterwards. So let's continue this conversation around Chris Olave and a potential trade. Again, I have to make it explicitly clear. I don't want to trade Chris Olave. I want to keep him around. He's a great player. He's a proven wide receiver that can get 1,000 yards if he's available and he can play throughout the season. I mean, this past year was the only year that he didn't have 1,000 yards, and well, it's because he only played in 8 games. And sure, the 400 yards in 8 games, it's like, you don't love that, but I'll also sit here and tell you this. I think that he is a great player, and we haven't even seen him unlock his true potential. I mean, I go back to when Jameis Winston was tossing him the pill, and I got to say, I think that he was showing so many different things, so many different skill sets, and an element that, honestly, Rashid Shaheed has taken over in the deep ball. Like, we got to get back to feeding Chris Olave and scheming plays up for him, and I think Kellen Moore is a guy who can do that, as well as continuing to work with Keith Williams. And I said it before. I'm going to say it again. I'm a greedy son of a gun. When I hold the cards, I'm going to be greedy. When I hold the power, I get to make the decisions. When I have the player that your team wants, guess what? You got to answer to what I want in return. It doesn't have to go down. A trade does not need to happen. If a team is dead set on they want Chris Olave, be greedy. Do not give him up for anything less than a nice, decent, respectable haul. I am in the camp of get a first-round pick because I think that it makes so much sense. A trade, that doesn't make sense. Maybe it doesn't necessarily make sense. My point being, I am not in the camp of get rid of him for anything less than a first-round pick because I hold the cards. I'm the dealer, and I'm the one that has something that you want. Reminder, trade doesn't have to happen. You don't have to get rid of him. You can just keep him around and keep things rolling. That's just my personal opinion on it. No, we talked about why we would trade Chris Olave, so let's talk about why we would keep Chris Olave. He's a great wide receiver when he's healthy. That is no question about it. If you want to argue with me on that, let's take it to Twitter and I'll prove you wrong. I think he is a phenomenal player whenever he has availability. And the Saints also have a need at wide receiver. So why would you get rid of your best option at wide receiver? That makes no sense whatsoever. And, there's a questionable market because of the injuries, because of the lack of production last year. And that's largely in part due to injuries. And there is also something to say about the history of the injuries and the concussions. Since October of 2020, Chris Olave has suffered 5 concussions. That's not ideal. You don't want to see that. You don't want that to be the case here. That is not lovely, and I'm a believer in value of life. I'm a believer in there are things bigger in life than football. But I'm also a believer in this guy's a gamer, and this guy is going to figure out a way to play, and he has a lot of tools that make me want to invest in him over the long term. And, I mean, look, the wide receiver group is not illustrious. It's not. I'm not going to sit here and try to sell you something. I'm not going to try and sell you a storyline. I'm not going to try and sell you some sort of nonsense. It's not great. But I'll say this. If you add Ted McMillan to this group, you add Jaden Higgins, Trey Harris, somebody like that. If you add a big-bodied wide receiver to this core, immediately – it has improved immensely. And look, this is not a knock to Chris Olave. This is more so of a knock to the injuries that he suffered. The best ability is availability. If you want to trade for Chris Olave, that's something that's also worth considering. Is the trade market going to be very expensive because he wasn't available and he hasn't actually played a full season yet and played every game? Like, those are serious things to have a conversation about. I would not trade Chris Olave. I'm not in the camp of it. I want to keep him for all the reasons I laid out in this video, but I also think that it's worth having a conversation about it because at this point, he's still on the roster. There's still people talking about it. So I just wanted to give you my 2 cents and give you my take on it. Now, answer this question for me, Saints fans. Would you ever consider trading Chris Olave? I'm going to continue to say pass. I want to hear what you guys have to say. If you would, let me know why. Let me know. Like, give me your argument. Give me your reasoning. And look, not only am I keeping Chris Olave, I'm actually going to build around him. I'm actually going to add more talent around him. I'm actually going to give him more weapons to complement him. I mean, look at Devontae Smith. This is the example I use every single time I get the opportunity to. Look at Devontae Smith. He was a great wide receiver. He was really, really good. But then you bring in A.J. Brown, and he is unlocked. He has been phenomenal ever since A.J. Brown was brought in. The Eagles' offense has been flying ever since A.J. Brown has been brought in. So I think adding a big body wide receiver makes a ton of sense. One of these 5 options I'm in love with. Tet McMillan, Jaden Higgins, Trey Harris, Jack Besh, or Savion Williams are all options I absolutely love. I think that the size is something that the New Orleans Saints need. I love the amount of speed they have. I love the route running they have. I love all of those skills. That part is fine. You don't need more speed. You need size, giggity. You need guys who are going to win over the middle, who are going to win in those contested catches, who are going to be more physical than opposing defensive players. I want the Saints to add a specific type of wide receiver to complement Chris Olave, and that is a big-bodied X-type receiver that can win over the middle and can just be a physical presence on the offensive side of the football. Now, guys, I post a lot of my content, a lot of my thoughts on social media, so if you want to hit your boy up, give me a follow on all 3 major platforms, X, Instagram, and TikTok. Here are the usernames. I'm trying to grow all of my platforms to help your boy out. And on top of that, if you hit me up and you shoot me a DM, I'll more than likely respond because I love chopping it up with you guys. So Who Dat Nation, thank y'all so much for watching today's video. Y'all stay golden, and we'll see you next time. Man, I'm going to be honest, I don't think that was a good video. I'm kind of really fucking pissed. I'm kind of extremely pissed off about that. I mean, mid-segment. Like, a bunch of those graphics, I was like, yep, we fixed that one. Yep, we fixed that one. Yep, changed that one. I'm like, fuck me, man.
My brain was fucking shitting itself over here.
Dude, well, it's...
Like, when I saw Bears pop up, I'm like, what just happened?
I saw that, too. I was like, why is that there? You know, people always give me shit for moving into studios, and I haven't done it in a while, but here we are. People in my studio. Crazy. Crazy how that works, man. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Imagine that. Imagine that. Alrighty. We're going to get into a mailbag. We're going to break it down here. If you have questions, use hashtag Saints or send in a super chat. That's how you can get on the program. We'll be answering questions for about 10, 15 minutes. And there we go. B. Jammin says, you folks are emotionally making decisions. Get a set. I don't know if I actually feel like I didn't use any emotion whatsoever. I used purely logic. I hope that's not towards me, B. Jamming, because I know that you're. If that is towards me, that's wrong. If it's other people in the chat, I haven't really been monitoring it. Been trying to fix the graphics. Alrighty, let's get into the mailbag. Do we have questions? Do we have enough?
Let me check.
Okay, B. Jamming says not you. Okay, cool,
Yes.
cool. Sweet. We got a lot. We're getting more questions. Carter, great question. Isaiah, great question. Jerry G says, for those of you who said trade, explain yourself right now.
Appears like we have a decent amount. Oh, we got to pop that super chat real quick. I don't know
you're
what
good.
it was.
You're good.
You said you saw a super chat.
You're good. Yeah, we got to get to this super chat from, who was it from? I didn't see it. I forgot. It was from Centaur. 2 weeks ago, the Saints was 200-1 odds to draft first in the draft. Then 100-1. Now it's 26-1. Have you heard anything about them heading up to number 1? I do know for a fact the New Orleans Saints are very interested in Cam Ward. I do know for a fact Cam Ward grew up a Saints fan, and he has said it would be a dream come true to play for the Saints one day. So that might be it. That might be what it is. I don't know if they'll actually end up doing it. I would actually advise them to not trade up. I think that would actually not be the best idea. Huh? I don't think it's worth it, and it's not a knock on Cam Ward. It's just like from going to 9-1, you're going to have to give up an insane haul, and I don't want to do that this year. I don't think Cam Ward is worth.
Generational talent of trading up.
I don't think he was either. Like, if this was Joe Burrow, do it. I'm all in on that. If it's Patrick Mahomes, I mean, you didn't really know that coming out of it. Like, if you know this is a bona fide, that guy is going to be him, sure. I think Cam Ward can be him. I don't know if it's worth the
question marks.
Yeah, like this, and also that's a move that if you did make, it would take years before we really figured out whether or not that pick was worth it. Because that's a lot of picks you would have that you could build around him with that you don't have now. It's a lot of capital that now you have to add in free agency because you don't have draft picks to fill the roster. That's money you need to spend that you don't have. Like, I just think trading up is a bad idea.
Real quick,
I don't want to do it.
we were talking about Georgia football players earlier.
Yeah.
Nitro Tuggle, great name by the way. Driving 107 was arrested a couple days ago. Just got an alert.
That's insane, man. That's hysterical.
First of all, hell of a name.
That's a great name.
Nitro
That's a
Tuggle.
great name. That's a great name. Alrighty. Let's make sure to put Cintar. Let's put all the super chats except for Moustakis's in the mailbag. Other than that, we got questions. We're ready to roll. Queen Courtney getting another question in. I also saw that she emailed me. Oh yeah, she said she loved the Falcons jokes that I sent. Awesome. And then I got an email from a Saints fan in Australia about Juwan Johnson. We'll reply to that here later on. All right. Mailbag coming up. Be sure to subscribe. Hit your boy up on socials. We're going to dive on into it. Lopez, whenever you are ready. Hey there, Saints fans. Hope y'all are having a wonderful weekend. Welcome into another Mailbag where we take questions from our subscribers as a part of our weekly live show every single Wednesday at 4 p.m. Central Time. So if you want to get on the questions and you want to get your thoughts on the show, be sure to subscribe. Tune in Wednesday, 4 p.m. Central Time, and we get all of the questions here on YouTube. So that way you guys can get your thoughts out to thousands and thousands of Saints fans every single week. Also, if you guys don't tune in on Wednesdays, if you guys just don't have the time, you're working, whatever, or if you were in the show and we missed your question, hit your boy up on social media. If you give me a follow, I promise you I will hit you up. We'll have a conversation. And if you have questions, we'll get you on the program. So first of all, thank you guys for watching today's show. Thank you for subscribing, and thank you for giving me a follow. I hope you guys enjoy the content, and I hope you guys enjoy all the stuff that we do here at Saints Now. So let's start off with a couple of super chats. Lanky Boy, my guy, I'm not going to dox him, but one of the homies on Twitter, shout out to you, brother. I would not trade Chris Olave. I would instead address what picks we have and get Tet McMillan, Cam Scadaboo. By the way, had another mock draft. Yeah, I'll kind of just quickly run through it. So just so you guys can know, I'm going to cover up his name, but whoop, that's what he sent me. So he took Tet McMillan in 1, Demetrius Knight at 40, Josiah Stewart at 71, Savion Williams at 93, Will Howard at 112, Brashard Smith at 131, traded Dallin Holker for 181 and a 7th-round pick in 2026. Took Jonah Monheim, the center out of USC, and then took Caden Pricecorn, the tight end out of Ole Miss. Traded Jake Hayner to the Patriots for a 238th overall pick in round 7. Took Jaquindon Jackson with that. And then Jordan Hancock, the safety out of Ohio State, to round things off. I think that's a solid mock draft. I love the idea of getting Tet McMillan and Cam Scadaboo. I think that'd be a lot of fun. Centaur, 2 weeks ago, the Saints were 200-1 odds to draft first overall. Then it was 100-1. Now it's 26-1. That's crazy. That is very, very wild. Have I heard anything about them trading up to 1? There hasn't been any reports. My sources haven't told me anything. I haven't heard any actual chatter to believe they will trade up to number 1. But I can tell you this. I know for a fact the New Orleans Saints are interested in Cam Ward. I know for a fact that Cam Ward wants to play for the New Orleans Saints. He said that at one point in time in an interview, in a press conference. He straight up said playing for the Saints would be a dream come true one day. And the Saints were also very, very present at Miami for the pro day for the Hurricanes. So, yeah, there's definitely some sort of traction, but I don't know if there's definitely 100% anything happening in the works right now. But who knows? Alrighty, would you sign Amari Cooper from the Nuss Bus? By the way, Nussmeier had a Had a couple really good throws at the LSU Pro Day, by the way. He was slinging the pill across the yard. Who's his dad again? Isn't he like the OC or something? It's pretty wild. That the Saints also tweeted. For the record, also the Saints tweeted about him throwing the football when Nussmeier was not a part of any of this. It's not his pro day. He's just throwing it. The Saints tweeted specifically about Nussmeier and his dad. So I'm like, tinfoil hat on. That doesn't mean nothing. Would I sign Amari Cooper? Yes, I would. The New Orleans Saints are missing a veteran presence in the wide receiver group. They're also missing somebody with the size profile of Amari Cooper. And I just think that he could offer a little bit of extra to the offense. And quite frankly, I think it needs it. I think that bringing in a big-bodied receiver would be a really good compliment to Olave and to Rashid Shaheed. So I'm all in on signing Amari Cooper for the right price. Saints have like $30-ish million, $28 to $30 million to spend. So, I mean, you can give him a competitive contract if there's a market for Amari Cooper. So definitely something to consider. Now, I want to ask you this question. Coop, would you sign the veteran wide receiver? Just give me a sign or a pass down in the comment section. Let me know what you guys would do. Personally, I'm all in on this idea, and I think it would be a really smart one. Now, if you want to make a smart decision and you want to optimize your nutrition, you better check out Factor Meals, the best place to get fresh, nutritious, delicious meals that are ready to eat in just a few minutes. I absolutely love Factor Meals because I am always on the move. And if you're just like me and you want to get better food, better quality for a much better deal, we got you covered. Factormeals.com/SaintsChat50 off. Use code SaintsChat50 off. You'll get 50% off your first box plus free shipping. With 40 options across 8 dietary preferences on the menu each week, it's easy to pick meals tailored to your goals. Choose from preferences like Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, or Keto. And speaking of the keto, you can lose up to 8 pounds in 8 weeks with Factor Keto meals. Based on a randomized controlled clinical trial with Factor Keto, results will vary depending on diet and exercise. Reach your goals this year with ingredients you can trust and convenience that can't be beat, and eat smart with Factor. You can get started today by using the link in the comments or description of this video, factormeals.com/SaintsChat50 off, and use code SaintsChat50 off to get 50% off your first box plus free shipping. All of that information is in the comments and description of this video. Shout out to Factor for sponsoring. I also got to say shout out to Factor for filling up my fridge and filling up my belly. Queen Courtney, what's going on, girl? We're going to bring in my guy, Nick Lopez, Louisiana native, LSU grad. He's my guy here, so we're going to, see what he has to say here. Huh? Yeah, we'll chop it up. Let's talk some ball here, Lopez. I think Sanders isn't worth the 9th overall pick. Tyler Warren at 9, and then draft Jackson Dart on day 2. So this is a topic that Queen Courtney has been very, very adamant on. Nick Lopez, Nick, whatever you want to call him. I'm kind of with her, though. I don't know if I would take Shedeur at number 9 overall. I love the idea of taking Tyler Warren. What do you think about that?
I 100% agree. If I was going to go a quarterback in the top 10, I would reluctantly say Cam Ward.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be like, oh, this guy is going to turn the franchise around, because I wouldn't believe that. But I think if you do stay at 9, I would like to see a guy, Tyler Warren, Ted McMillan, kind of talk myself into a little bit more. Ashton Genty, but I've kind of lost faith on that. I think
I'm starting to kind of – it's not that I don't want Genty, but I'm like – no, I'd much rather have Tyler Warren than Genty. Like, it's Ted McMillan, Tyler Warren, Genty for me.
Versatility-wise, yeah. But, I want a fun running back.
I also think this is a great running back class with a lot of talent that you can get really in any round. So I'm like, as crazy sounds, I'm not going to prioritize drafting a running back. And I think if you do, that's fine. But I just believe the Saints should go a different route because there's so many running backs that are available. But, would you draft Shedeur at 9? Would you draft, actually, let's have a different conversation. Would you draft Shedeur if you fell to round 2? If Jackson Dart and Shedeur are there at 40 overall, which one are you picking? I think I'm still picking Shedeur over the 2. I do like Jackson Dart's mobility, though.
A part of me wants to say Jackson Dart just to kind of – I don't want to say Shedeur Sanders is a bad guy. Deion Sanders is a great person, but that would just add a little bit more to a locker room that we don't know.
Sure.
If you need that already.
A lot more attention, too, from a national standpoint. And Saints are not a team that is deserving to be in the national spotlight.
First-year head coach Kellen Moore, that's one more thing on his plate. Does he really want to deal
Sure.
Like
No, that's totally fair, man. That's totally fair. I think that's a great point. Queen Courtney, I really appreciate your question. Let's get to the next one. Fresh new start. Describes the Saints this year. Do you believe the rumors that the Saints are looking to move up to Cam Ward? I kind of gave my take on it. What do you think about this, Lopez?
I really don't think the Saints are looking to trade up. I think we were talking about it earlier. Moving up 8 spots, it's going to cost a haul, and I don't think Cam Ward is worth that.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you need an inspiration of what it's going to cost you, go back a couple years ago. What the Panthers did to go draft up or trade up to get Bryce Young, that's what they had to do. They had to give up multiple first-round picks, multiple second-round picks, and their wide receiver one. So, are you want to give up multiple first-round picks, multiple second-round picks, and Chris Olave? I don't think so.
No.
The other thing too is there's been reports out there that the Titans are falling more and more in love with Cam Ward, and the asking price is only going up. So
that's fine.
If you want to go and do it, you better make the trade quick. Otherwise, it's going to cost you a lot more. I also just think stay pat.
Tennessee turn that card in and be like, you know what? You want Cam Ward at 1?
I'm with you on that. I am with you on that.
No.
Iron Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson. That's really good. The 49ers might trade Brandon Ayuk. I want the Saints to make it happen. All right, Mike.
That'd be kind of fun.
That would be fire, dude. That would be really fun.
That would fix issues.
No, it definitely would. But my big question, like, we've seen it already with Brandon Ayuk. Is he going to cause a bunch of problems in the locker room? Because he's already done this multiple times with San Francisco of, I'm demanding a trade, and I want this, and I want that, and take it to social media and just I don't want to say that he's not worth it, because that's not true. But, like, for what it's going to cost you in terms of the trade compensation, and for what it's going to cost you financially, is the juice worth the squeeze? In 2025, he only has a $10.75 million cap hit. Saints can pay that. The Saints can afford that. They have over $25 million in cap space to spend.
But the second you trade for him, he's also waiting for a new contract.
Yeah. I mean, he's under contract through 2028 right now. His cap hits in 2025, it's $10.75 million. In 2026, it's $16.2. In 2027, it's $42. And then in 2028, it's $44. Obviously, you can get creative with the cap numbers there. I think that this is definitely something the Saints should explore. They need a wide receiver like Brandon Ayuk. And I think he would actually be a really good compliment to Chris Olave as well. I don't know if wide receiver is the biggest need. It feels like pass rush is a need. Run stopping is a need. Everything's a need. So what's the biggest need? I'm going to ask you this question. What do you guys think is the biggest need for the New Orleans Saints right now as it stands? I'd make an argument for wide receiver, but I also think that the trenches, offensively and defensively, are needed. I think you need cornerbacks. I think you need linebackers. I think you need a running back behind Alvin Kamara. I can't pick out which one is the biggest need, so I'm going to need you to help me out and pick one for me. All right, let's keep this thing rocking and rolling. Carter, would you rather draft Ted McMillan or Jahdae Barron? Ted McMillan.
I do agree with that one.
I love Jahdae Barron. He's a slot guy, though. He's much more active in the nickel position, and I don't want to move Alontae Taylor again back to the outside. I liked him in the middle. Mm-hmm. I think that he was actually extremely effective in the middle. Do what?
He found a home.
Yeah, I know he found a home, and people are going to sit here and be like, "Well, you had these bad moments. You had these bad." Well, dude, when you go, it's like The Office, the snip, snap, snip, snap, snip, snap. It's that you're inside, outside, inside, outside, inside, outside. Let him stay in one. Jahdae Barron, very, very good cornerback, but I would prefer to go with an outside corner. So a guy, Will Johnson is a name to keep an eye on. And who's the guy at East Carolina? Siobhan Revel. I was like, it starts with an S. Siobhan Revel, another name that I really, really like on the outside. Lopez, you would also go Ted?
Yeah, I would probably go Ted. I think my receiver ranking for the draft, Ted's probably receiver 2. I guess you could start having that conversation about him, Matthew Golden.
Okay.
But I don't think, what's his name, Jahdae Barron, he's not one of my top 3 corners, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's fair. No, that's totally fair.
Best player available?
Yeah. I mean, I don't see why you would go at number 9 overall. Why would you go with the third best option at a player when you can get the first at a different position? That's just my personal take. Jaden, what do you think the Saints defensive coordinator's Brandon Staley first play will be on defense? I don't know.
Send a statement, all out.
Huh?
All out blitz. Send a statement.
Send a what?
Send a statement.
Oh.
All out blitz. We're coming for your ass.
Yeah, we're gonna go full on jailhouse blitz. We're gonna set the tone early. Fun fact, the first defensive snap last year, Will Harris got an interception on Bryce Young. Kind of cool. Now you got to top that. Good luck topping that. A pick against a divisional rival. Good luck topping that. What will be the first play? Man, I don't know. It would be cool to see an all-out blitz and just be like, hey, so remember how we sucked against the blitzing last year? Yeah, we fixed it. We're really, really good at that now. I think that'd be pretty fun, but obviously it depends on who they're playing, the personnel, the situation. It depends on all of that. So, Jaden, that's a hard question to answer, my friend, but it's a good one to ask. Kyron, what if the Saints were good enough to go make the playoffs? Dude.
If they make the playoffs at that point, I'm saying they're in the Super Bowl.
Yeah. The postseason's weird, man. The postseason is a weird time to be playing football. You just got to get there. The Saints haven't done that in 4 years. I think that's the first focus. Get to the playoffs. And then after that, let's start talking about winning playoff games. And after that, let's talk about winning Super Bowls. With the Saints, they make the playoffs. If they're healthy, what's stopping them from winning a game at the Dome in the postseason?
Oh, I think
Dome field advantage is back.
that's a real thing.
That is a 100% real thing. We know the Superdome is a hard place to play if you're an opposing team, especially when the fans are rowdy and pumped up. If the Saints are playing good football, the Who Dat Nation is going to be loud. Very, very loud. So if they can make the playoffs, you shoot, man. World's our oyster, and we'll see what happens. We got any other good questions left?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, you're all good. You're all good. All righty, Kyron, I really appreciate that question, my guy. Also, I will just encourage you, if you haven't already, subscribe to the show. Give us a thumbs up on the video. Me and my guy, Nick Lopez, have been busting our butts trying to give you more content, so hit your boy up and give us a like if you haven't already. All righty. Please tell me the Saints aren't seriously considering Quinn Ewers. Well, I can't, because then I'd be lying to you. I'll tell you this right now. Kellen Moore's been very, very busy. He was present in Austin for I want to make sure I have this right. Yes, he traveled to Austin on Monday after the Miami Pro Day. He visited Texas's Pro Day, and and the Saints had dinner with some of the players, including Matthew Golden, Jahdae Barron, Quinn Ewers, and then a couple other guys. So I think Quinn Ewers really is on the table here. I would not take him in the first 2 days. If he is a 6th-round pick, there's worse 6th-round picks. Let me put it this way. I'd rather have Quinn Ewers than Jake Haener. Give me Quinn Ewers over Jake Haener.
Okay, but if it's before day 3,
no.
I'll say it right now.
No, I don't want it before day 3.
I imagine we'll be in the office.
Oh, we're going to be live on the first 2 days, Lopez. I actually got notified today we're going to be live on day 2 for sure.
Okay, well, if day 2 comes around and Quinn Ewers is drafted by the Saints, for those of you that don't know, we have this nice Dallas downtown office.
Oh, yeah.
Office space.
Yeah.
We're 21 floors up.
Might be going through the window.
I will be going 21 floors down very quickly out the window.
The elevator ride takes about 40 to 60 seconds to get up. I'm sure falling down takes like maybe 7. Not even. Probably much quicker.
The concrete outside is very clean. Won't be once
Jeez. Yeah, we can't draft Quinn Ewers in the first 2 days. Day 3, fine. Whatever. But don't trade up to go get him. If he falls to you at 6, whatever. I'm not trading up for Quinn Ewers, though. Guys, I really appreciate y'all for tuning in to today's show. We had a lot of fun answering some questions, going through some hot takes and all that good stuff. So, like I said, if you didn't get to get your question on or if you missed out on the fun, subscribe to Saints Now by Chat Sports for 100% free Saints coverage by Saints fans for Saints fans. Y'all stay golden, and we'll see you next time. All righty. That was a clinic. That was a clinic. We would have been done 15 minutes ago, too, if we didn't get screwed by Bears. Have 100,000 subs. I think you can just take whatever studio they want. Ugh.
Maybe if it was Raiders, I'd be like, okay, fine.
No, not even Raiders. I would actually be more mad because I'm like, you not only did you give us a shitty quarterback, you took my studio. You took my love for the game of football, and you took my studio. So heartbreaking.
What if we just go take their nice studio?
I would love that. Also, I was starting to see see Chase posting up in our studio there, Lopez.
Okay.
Those are fighting words.
It's a little cold back there.
It is a little chilly. It is a little chilly. I'll tell you what, though. If that's our studio, we can just get a space heater and just it's our room. It's our home base.
If you take Chase, I got Chip. I feel like
we could take him out, dude. No problem. We could take him out for sure. For sure. Alrighty, we are going to sign off. we are going to head on out. We had a lot of fun, answered a lot of questions. Ron Wolf Bisbing, I appreciate you for tuning in, brother. I know I don't get to see you a ton in the live shows. You do hang out. I want you to know I see you in there, but I also see you comment on like every single video. So, Ron, homie to homie, thank you for always watching the shows. I know you don't always agree with what I say, but that's the beauty of this. We can have a conversation. We can talk about it. Our opinions can change. Our opinions can evolve. And, I just want to say I really appreciate you, Ron, for always hanging out with us. Courtney, you're an absolute legend. That's hilarious, Courtney. Jerry G, I appreciate you. No Love Matt, thank you for tuning in. Mere comment, I appreciate you as well. For me, for my guy Nick Lopez, this has been Saints Now by Chat Sports live on YouTube. Y'all stay golden, and we'll see you next time.